Pretty much all motherboard brands come with their own quote-unquote utility software that auto-installs their respective hubs as soon as there is an internet connection available and an operating system to do so. I built this PC a few years ago using the ASUS X570-i board that I found to be one of the better ITX AM4 motherboards available, but little did I know, before truly getting everything set up for the first time, there was a very crucial piece of software buried within the motherboard's configuration settings, mischievously hidden in plain sight. The bloatware in question was none other than the ASUS Armoury Crate itself, a toggle that was set to install automatically, as in, as soon as I was getting situated with setting up my computer, this software would gladly start installing itself without any confirmation from me whatsoever. Now, to some, this might seem like it's a no-brainer in terms of feature functionality, like, okay, having the ability to configure the RGB on my motherboard via a software solution seems pretty nice. But what those individuals might be mistaking for functionality is that the Armoury Crate software itself is much like having your very own personalized virus. Having this installed on my PC turned out to be nothing short of a disaster. For starters, the app insisted on constantly running itself in the background even after turning off auto startup and never once even placing my cursor above the executable file, but alas, the app insisted on keeping itself always running and prompting for further setup. Even more frustrating than that was whenever I went to delete this piece of shit software, it would simply just reinstall itself, like some sort of Microsoft Edge 2.0. Even going to the links of utilizing a dedicated uninstaller and deleting a list of registry keys left behind from the app, it still somehow did not do the trick. But finally, whenever I was updating Windows a few years ago, I'm pretty sure what ended up removing this piece of shit was doing a fresh install and obsessively remembering to turn off the auto install for Armoury Crate in the BIOS before launching my PC into Windows again. And even more recently, I decided that I wanted to do a repaste of my CPU along with cleaning out everything, and unsurprisingly, my BIOS configurations had all been factory reset, probably because I took out my CPU to clean off the leftover thermal paste, but I yet again forgot to toggle off the auto install for the Armoury Crate software in the BIOS. I knew that this was the case since immediately after rebooting my computer again, all of the RGB lighting and the components lit up like Rainbow Road, and I ended up getting a nice little toast notification that Armoury Crate was wanting me to install it. Luckily though, I managed to shut down and boot back into the BIOS again to toggle the installer off before it had time to fully infest my computer. Needless to say, you genuinely do not need the ASUS Armoury Crate or really any motherboard manufacturer's provided bloatware for that matter. I mean, you do also have some basic functionality for turning RGB on or off in your BIOS already, and we do now have the ability to toggle options for RGB via the Windows 11 dynamic lighting settings now, but in all honesty, you should just get away from RGB entirely as it's objectively useless. Unless you really do love having RGB on your PC, then yeah, don't listen to me as it is entirely up to you. But beyond just the sentiment behind RGB and lighting, stuff like the ASUS Armoury Crate is nothing new. Like, I know there's many other brands doing the exact same thing with their hardware as well, and really, it goes beyond the motherboards alone. It's just absurd how common and overly suspect most of this stuff is in this day and age, where we have software and motherboards hid behind a list of options, affecting your ability to make a quick and easy informed choice about what software you want on your computer. But even more evil than that is just that the app alone collects data about you and your shit as well. But I mean, yeah, that's about all I have to say. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. See you later.